Well, hello there everyone, and welcome to Bland County Survivor Man. Hey guys, I've been having some chats with some of my friends here lately about how to use a compass. So I came out here in the woods this afternoon to see if I could show you just a little bit of a study on how to use a compass. And I'm going to teach you a little bit of how to use a map if it don't rain too much, which it's starting to do. But anyway, I have a compass here. And that's the kind of compass you use with a map. And the kind of map I'm talking about is a topographical map, the one that you can see lines on. And I'm going to give you a few basic instructions on how to use that map in the woods if you happen to have one with you. So, first of all, we want to tell you that the map, or the compass that is affected by, let's say, a metal object. I'm going to take this compass and show it to you right there, and you can see that the compass hand is steady. But if I put a metal object next to that compass, it'll throw that thing off 10 or 15, maybe 20 degrees. So you have to get your gun belts, guns, and things like that away from your compass so that you'll get a correct reading. Now, a compass always points magnetic north, and that's this red line on your compass right here, or this red end of the compass. Okay, here's north. The compass is always pointing to magnetic north. So let's go ahead and line the compass up with magnetic north. Now we know now that that is magnetic north, and that's the way the compass is pointing. If you want to know the direction that you're going in, all you have to do is point your direction of travel arrow, which you can see right there. We have a direction of travel arrow. You point that in the direction you're going, and let's say I want to go 222 degrees. I set 222 degrees on the direction of travel arrow. Now, I won't be going at 220 degrees until I turn the compass until it lines up with north. Now I know that 220 degrees lies in that direction. I hope you guys can see that. But if you were going in 220 degrees, and that's how you do it. Every time you take you stop and take another sighting with your compass, you simply leave the 220 degrees, if that's the direction you're going in, on the line of, or on your travel line. Make sure your compass is pointing to north, and simply follow that all the way out until you get to the destination that you're going in. And that's pretty simple. It's not too hard of a thing to do. And I know that there's lots of people that don't know how to do that. It looks like I'm going to have to go back down to my house there to show you how to do it with the map. But let's say, for instance, I want to go at 280 degrees. And that's what the distance, or the coordinates is that I'm taking is at. So I just turned that thing to 280 degrees. I've got it now set on 280 degrees. Now I know I'm not going 280 degrees until I turn my body until my compass points to the north. When I turn my body till the compass points to the north, I know that 280 degrees is in that direction, and I just follow that out. If I'm lost in the woods and I have a compass and I want to go in a straight line, if I don't know where I'm at and I still want to go in a straight line, and that's the best way to do it so you don't go in a circle, simply line the compass up. Let's say I want to go south. South is opposite of north, right? And I know that I can go in a southerly direction and finally come out. So I simply set that setting, the S setting, to the direction of travel arrow. Then I turn my compass, my body, until that compass is pointing to the north. Now I'll turn my body, not the compass. Okay. I turn all the way around, and I'm actually turning the compass. Now north is that direction and south is that direction. So I'm going to take the map back down to the house since it's raining and see if I can show you guys how to use it. Now, one of the things I do want to show you here is just because you've got a map doesn't mean if you're lost you know where you're at if you can't find yourself on this particular map or any other map as far as that's concerned. So one of the things you have to do with your map is take that map and orient it to north. And you'll notice that on your map you'll see a pointer that's pointing to north or magnetic north. All you do to line your compass up to north is simply go to one of the horizontal or vertical lines on the map. I know this is a little bit tedious, but this is the way you do it. Line that line up with your compass, because you can't find your way with that map until you do this. Set your compass to north. Now, turn that map with that thing on that straight line on your map until your compass points north. And lay your map down, and now your map is oriented to magnetic north. Then, if you can find a distinguishing feature of some type where you're at, then you can locate yourself and then shoot your coordinates. And like I said, I'm going to go back down to the house and try to show you that where it's not raining on my map. It would have to rain the day I do this video. But anyway, that's what we'll do. We'll go back down and see if we can locate a spot on the map and then show you how to find out where you're at on the map by cross section. Okay, you guys, here we are at back at the house. And what I'm going to show you is this topographical map laid out here. And one of the things I want to show you on it is those little interval lines, each one of those little individual lines there. And those are called contour lines. And they have a space between each one of the lines. And they show you where the valleys are. And they show you where the mountaintops are, where the ridges are. They even show you things like that's a rock quarry right there. All you do is study the map and study the things that are written on the map, and it tells you what the things are. And it tells us on this map, I hope you can read this, the interval on this map between the contour lines is 20 feet, meaning between each one of those dinky little lines that's going out through there, that's 20 feet. Every one of them you go across makes you go 20 feet. So that's one way that you can see how far it is to where you are going. Okay? Then the scale of the map is 1.24 thousandths. And the scale of the map tells us that 4 inches on this map equals a mile. So you would have to take your compass, which has got lines on it, to read that scale with. And you can see, you can measure with that map or with that compass. Across that compass right there, you can get 1.5 inches all the way across the compass. So that's the way you measure with the compass to see how far it is from where you're going. But anyway, if you're lost and you've got this map in your pocket, that don't mean you know where you're at still yet. And there's a way of finding where you're at, and that is called cross section. And what you do is, if you can get to a place where you can look into the distance and see, maybe you see 2 mountain peaks in the distance, and you know that one of them is Jesse's Butte and the other one is Round Mountain or something. I've got a diagram I drew right here to show you how to do this. Now, you're sitting back in this direction, right here. This is where you're sitting at. What you do is you take your compass and you line your map to north. Make sure your map is lined up with magnetic north, and you simply turn it until your map is lined up with north. Then you look over there at that mountaintop and you take the coordinates, and this coordinates to this mountaintop from my map that I drew here was, to this one it was 350 degrees. Well, the way you find your back bearing is either subtract 180 degrees or add 180 degrees. So 350 is more than 180, so we subtract 180 degrees. We get our back bearing, and that ends up being 170 degrees. So you write that down. Then this direction, my bearing was at 10 degrees, that direction. So that is less than 180, so we add 180. So back here, your back bearing from that mountain to where you're at is 190 degrees. It's pretty easy to understand. Now all you do after you have your back bearing is you lay your map down, make sure it's still oriented to north, and you set that compass to 300 or 170 degrees. So we'll turn the compass this direction at 170 degrees, and I'm not going to do it right there for that demonstration, but that's 170 degrees back from that mountaintop. So you draw a line from that mountain with your compass set on 170 degrees on that arrow right there, and just draw a line from that mountaintop all the way back on your map past where you think you're at. You do the same thing over here. This coordinate's going this way is 190 degrees. So you take your compass, little arrow on there, and you point that back at 190 degrees. That's the back bearing. Of course, you're not over on this mountain. You're sitting on this mountain. So you simply are taking a back bearing of 190, but you're drawing it on paper. So you draw that line from this mountaintop back at 190 degrees. You draw that one back at 170, and where they cross it, that's where you're at on the map. And that's the way you find where you are on a map, and that's really the only way you can find it, unless you find a distinguishing feature right where you're at, or there's a sign that says, hey, this is where you're at. But that's the way you find your way back with your back bearing, or find where you're located, and that's called cross section. So guys, like I said, in intervals, this map's laid out in intervals of 20 feet. So every time I go up a line, it's another 20 feet. So you could go 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, and that's how you can find your way to where you're at. Or you can scale this one. Every 4 inches on the map, every 4 inches will be a mile. And that's how you tell how far you are away from that point. But that's how you locate yourself. Then when you locate yourself on the map, and you have the map oriented to north, then you can say, well, I know that the car was at blah, blah, blah degrees. All you got to do is turn your compass in that direction and go on and find your way out. That's another tip from your Bland County Survivor Man. I hope you learned something off of this video. Have a nice day.